Revelation 11. Then I was given a measuring stick, and I was told, "Go and measure the temple of God and the altar, and count the number of worshippers, but do not measure the outer courtyard, for it has been turned over to the nations. They will trample on the holy city for 42 months, and I will give power to my 2 witnesses, and they will be clothed in burlap and will prophesy during those 1,260 days." These 2 prophets are the 2 olive trees and the 2 lampstands that stand before the Lord of all the earth. If anyone tries to harm them, fire flashes from their mouths and consumes their enemies. This is how anyone who tries to harm them must die. They have power to shut the sky so that no rain will fall for as long as they prophesy. And they have power to turn the rivers and oceans into blood and to strike the earth with every kind of plague as often as they wish. When they complete their testimony, the beast that comes up out of the bottomless pit will declare war against them, and he will conquer them and kill them, and their bodies will lie in the main street of Jerusalem, the city that is figuratively called Sodom and Egypt, the city where the Lord was crucified. And for 3.5 days, all people, tribes, languages, and nations will stare at their bodies. No one will be allowed to bury them. All people who belong to this world will gloat over them and give presents to each other to celebrate the death of the 2 prophets who had tormented them. But after 3.5 days, God breathed life into them, and they stood up. Terror struck all who were staring at them. Then a loud voice from heaven called to the 2 prophets, "Come up here." And they rose to heaven in a cloud as their enemies watched. At the same time, there was a terrible earthquake that destroyed 1/10 of the city. 7,000 people died in that earthquake, and everyone else was terrified and gave glory to the God of heaven. The 2nd terror is past, but look, the 3rd terror is coming quickly. Then the 7th angel blew his trumpet, and there were loud voices shouting in heaven, "The world has now become the kingdom of the Lord and his Christ, and he will reign forever." The 24 elders sitting on their thrones before God fell on their faces to the ground and worshipped him, and they said, "Give thanks to you, Lord God, the Almighty, the one who is and who always was. For now you have assumed your great power, and you have begun to reign. The nations were filled with wrath, but now the time of your wrath has come. It is time to judge the dead and reward the servants, the prophets, as well as your holy people, and all who fear your name, from the least to the greatest. It is time to destroy all who have caused destruction on the earth." Then in heaven, the temple of God was opened, and the Ark of the Covenant could be seen inside the temple. Lightning flashed, thunder crashed, and roared, and there was an earthquake and a terrible hailstorm.